This is who we are. You know it. It's your time to blow it. Yeah. Stay devoted. And this is how we show it.
I can do all things.
Some way, somehow.
I can do all things.
Yeah, we gon' work it out.
I can do all things.
Please, put your hands up right now.
I can do all things.
Hey, it's time to show out. I can do all things. And with my mouth I call things. Having answers on all rings. Crown full of thorns, still called king. I can't walk it through the pouring rain. Chasing purpose, I call fame. When you pass test and endure flame. Promotion now is a sure thing.
What's up, y'all? It's your boy, Coach Daryl Jones, and my beautiful wife.
Coach P. Angela Jones.
And welcome to All Things Well. Listen, this is the second episode for season 2, but this is part 2 of the first episode with Ike and Tab. Listen, y'all, married to business. We talking about how to stay married in these social media streets.
Part 2. Listen, if you're watching this, you need to stop and go watch part 1, okay?
But let me do my mission statement, sweet case.
This is a continuation. It's so good.
All right, here All Things Well, we do believe in the power of God's word, the transformation of the mind and body and soul to be influenced and empowered, help me out, baby, to do all things well.
That was very, bishop-like. I appreciated that.
Okay, yeah. I'm on my bishop now.
You're on your full gospel today? Because it's giving full
yeah,
gospel,
yeah.
Okay?
I might grow a beard by the end of this episode. Yeah, I'm feeling it.
I'm going to give you our scripture that we always stand on. It is 3 John chapter 1, verse 2, and it says this: Dear friend, I pray that you may enjoy good health.
Yep.
And all may go well with you. Even as your soul is getting along well, it is our desire to see you get along well in all areas of your life. But now we have to bring in our guests for part 2 of this amazing conversation, Mr. and Mrs. Ike and Tab Obienu.
What's up, family?
Listen, y'all. Yeah, this was a part 2. We knew from the beginning it was going to be a part 2, but we allowed everybody to figure that out along the way, because we already know y'all are filled to the brim with wisdom and intelligence and brilliance and ideas. And it's just you want to give all of that to our community. Our community needs this that's inside of you. So thank you for being here.
Y'all know what a dope marriage looks like, and we love that, and we want that to get out there. We want that reality and that truth. It takes work, but a marriage can be dope. So listen, we're going to jump into this because we cannot let the time get past us. We got 26 minutes left. Let's get it all out. My boy, Ike, I want to say this here. You are an African-Nigerian king, right? A successful man. You're a chemist. There's no such thing as a broke scientist, chemist, or anything. It doesn't go together, right? So you obviously make enough money. You obviously make enough money no matter what in this society to be able to take care of your family and your wife not have to work. She doesn't have to, right? No matter navigating or whatever, you do make enough, right? You've reached that pivotal point that men want to get to. So, but you being a Nigerian man, usually the wife doesn't work. You have kids, you stay home, right? Take care of the kids, make life easier. There was a season where I was a general manager at a LA Fitness and my wife didn't work. And we had to stretch it and everything, but I realized when I got home, the living room was done, the food was cooked, right? Everything was set up. Her life was about just setting up my life when I get home, right? And of course, my wife has gifts, talents, and everything, and I never want to take away from my wife. I'm not that type of man, but I did realize sometimes it was kind of easier when she didn't have to clock in and do this and do that and grind and type and share and post and this and that. So what is it like being a man that comes from a country where man takes care of everything? It's a man's world, and you're married to this woman that's really holding her own and going out there in the public. How do you do that as a man? How do you cross cultures?
Yeah.
Okay, let it out.
I'm definitely Nigerian. In every level,
Yeah.
so you're definitely right. I didn't get to the US until I was 21, so I was fully cooked, fully baked, with my Nigerian ways, even before I came to the US, right? But the truth is that I'm not married. I didn't marry a Nigerian wife. I married an American wife, right? So
Yeah.
I wouldn't expect my my American wife to act Nigerian, right? So
So good.
it's
That's
just
so good.
understanding place and time, understanding, we're not in Nigeria, we're in America, right? We're raising American kids, right? So it's just an evolution of your mind that has to happen, right? To understand what time it is, right? And besides that, I grew up with a whole lot of powerful women, right? I'm used to
Yeah.
seeing very successful women.
Yeah.
My mom was a very, very successful woman. When I have aunties that were really successful in society, in status, in their bag, in the amount of money they got in their bag. So, I've seen women do it successfully, right? And I'm a product of a successful woman, right? Because I came to the US, I had the freedom and the luxury to go as far as I wanted with my education. It's not always easy. It is usually very expensive, but I had a powerful woman by my corner that ensured that anytime I wanted anything that would, that will uplift me, that will make me better, either educationally, spiritually, emotionally, or even health-wise, right? She was always ready to support me with everything she had, with every brick in her hand, with every dollar in her purse. You know what I'm saying? So I'm used to seeing a successful woman do it, right? So marrying a woman like Tab it wasn't anything new to me because
Okay.
I've lived with women that hold their own, right? So it's just about understanding, what role you're playing here. First of all, you understand what's your gift, what you're working with, what's my gift, or am I working with? How can we combine these two, to make it into one, right? Because like I tell her, like, even though I like to be about chemists and go and do all those science things, be in the laboratory, mixing things, trying to extract something, trying to look for this and look for that, focusing on. There's nothing I enjoy more than spending time with her, right?
Oh man, say it for the people in the front,
In the
the
back.
back, the bleachers. Say it for the coach, and say it for the player, right? Because the people in the back need it, but the people in the front need it too.
Yes.
So
So
you
the best,
value love over success, your money. Come on, say
I
it.
value time with my wife
Yeah.
over because to me, success and money will come regardless, right?
Yeah.
We've done the work it takes to be successful. It's something that you should have been doing since you were a youth, right? So success is not something that I just started working with. Something that I've been working with since I knew what success was, right?
Yeah.
So it's right now it's more about quality of life, and
Yes.
the quality of my life is it's better when I spend time with my wife. Like
There you
I
go.
don't want to
Come
be
on.
out there 12 straight hours, with people I don't really like to work with, like, so it's to me, that's why I always rush to come home because this is my comfort zone. This is where I can truly be me and I can say what I want to say and everybody will get where I'm coming from, right? So that's what
Yeah.
I do is to turn my work into my home, like make my work a continuation or annex of my home, right? And that was actually the driving point to wanting to create something and do something with her because I wanted to spend as much time as I could with her and how best to do it than to actually work together and to get up and okay, we're going to work, let's go. Okay, we're doing this right now, let's do it. Okay, it's time to go. It's time to go get lunch. Let's go get lunch. You know what I'm saying? So it's quality time. It's spending time with your wife, and I'm loving every aspect of it. And it's an
That
American
is
wife.
so good.
It's not. It's just the way life is now. Is
Yeah.
Yes,
it's
I
life.
agree. I agree. I agree that that's the way that life is going for a lot of people, but you have so many people that are stuck.
Yeah.
So I'm so glad that you're saying all of
Words
these
are
things.
freeing.
You're using some real grown man words. Quality of life, that's a grown man word.
Period.
Okay? Quality of life is a grown man word. Rushing to get home to your wife, that's a grown man
I was going to say that, babe. It's very popular, and I do the same thing.
Yes.
It's very popular for men to say, I take 5 to 10 minutes in the car before I go inside. I don't do that. So a lot of times I don't get along with a lot of American black husbands because I rush to get out of work, jump skip to get home.
Yeah.
Right? They say I don't sit in the car for 10 to 15 minutes deliberating whether I'm gonna go in the house. I don't need a blunt before I go inside of the house. Right? I don't do that. And I think it's very powerful that you said that. Having a good wife does help a lot of men, especially 35 and up, quality of life.
Yeah.
That's powerful, man.
And you saying that time with your spouse, time with your wife is more significant than the pursuit of success.
Yes.
Because you should have been pursuing success from the moment you knew what success was. I
Period.
love that.
That's
I had to
powerful.
write that down. Listen, if you're going to be listening to Ike Obienu, make sure you have pen and paper, okay?
Yeah.
You're taking notes.
And
Okay?
one more thing before you
Yes.
ask a question. He
Yes.
said quality time with his wife, not those kids. I think people need to stop lying. Kids do not make you happy all the time. I'm not rushing home to spend time with my 14-year-old son. Stop lying. That daughter don't make me happy all the time. I'm lying, man.
So go, Tab, because this is a part of staying married in social media streets, is knowing where children fit into the order of things. So, Tab, I feel the fire on that. So go ahead.
Come on, yeah.
I grew up back in the day, and I might be aging myself when I say this, but they used to tell us go find a child's place or stay in a child's place, right?
Yeah.
And so we have we are very, very family oriented. It's only us that live in Atlanta, right? Like his family lives in Nigeria, my family lives in the Midwest, and so it's just us and the community that we've built here, which and so we're very keen on family time, right? And so we have family game nights, we eat dinner, we go on vacations together, we do our thing, but there is a boundary. And I'm like, like at the mechanic shop when you got that real ghetto dog that like to bark when you come near the gate, right? I'm like that real ghetto dog that barks, right? When we have this dedicated time, and I know this is our time, whether it's us going to the movies, no, you cannot go to the movies. If it's just a moment where we're going to go to the grocery store, no, you do not need to come. If we just want to shut our door for 2 hours and not have anybody knock on the door, that's like, I'm going to be like that dog, right? Like, and you're going to get that because we give you the outpour of our love, and not from a place of deficit or not from a place of reserve, but we give our children everything that we have. And so the time that we get to spend, that is sacred. That is time where, and it doesn't matter what we're doing, whether we're just chilling and we each on our phones or I'm working and he just, whatever the case, it's still our time. It's ours, and it's sacred, and it's protected, and to ensure that it doesn't go extinct, right? You have to protect it. It's just like the animals in the wild. Like if you don't want it to go extinct, you put certain boundaries and certain protections and certain laws around it that cannot be crossed in order to keep it alive. So our little quality time, I'm ripping heads off if they think that.
Listen,
y'all sound like us.
You have to
telling you.
listen. You have to be honest. It's the truth. I receive all of that. Stop playing around, talking about you rushing home to pick up your once my 5, my 7-year-old daughter goes like this, Daddy, I love you. Everything else, Daddy, you got this, you got this, you got that, you got this, you got this, you got that, you got this, you got that, you got that. Come on, man. You know what I'm saying? I rush home to see this woman who nursed and gave birth to those kids. Of course, I want to see my kids, but like you said, spending quality time with your wife, man, especially in a good marriage, man, it helps your life so much.
Well, and I want to just hit on this though, because the episode is about being married in social media.
Okay.
And I think that creating boundaries within your family is how we're able to show up in social media. If I didn't create boundaries with the kids and say, listen, guys, I'm getting ready to record. You can't come past this threshold.
Yeah.
You all can't see what's past this threshold. I can see them.
Yeah.
They might be standing right there.
Yeah.
Look, I'm like, y'all know if this camera is still on red, don't
Yeah.
you cross this threshold.
Yeah.
Listen, y'all sit there and listen to mommy talk and encourage the people, okay?
That's it.
So, but we have to create those boundaries because I think it would be very difficult to be who I am in social media if I cater to all of my children's whims. Now, Tab, you know that's not very popular right now. Right now, it is very popular for especially Black moms to be all about their kids at all the events, at all the things, and making sure that their kids are just catered to at every
Baby kids, they
aspect.
put their kids
But
before
you
the
know
husband.
what? I really want to talk on that, and I didn't mean to cut you off because that's a
No.
trauma trigger right there. When you see that, that is, I am trying to give my children what I did not have. I am trying to do for my children or be to my children what my mother or what my father did not or was not to me. And so it's a void that they are trying to fill, living vicariously through themselves to be what their parents or guardians were not to them, right? I was a teenage mom. I was a very, very young mother. So I have been a mother a long time, and I've been giving my all and giving my best to my children. But as my children grow and develop and become more independent, my son knows how to wash the clothes. My son knows how to wash the dishes. My son knows how to cook food for he and his sister. My son knows how to clean up. My son is very independent. And that is not because I don't want to be there for him, but it's, I am training you for what happens after me. And if I'm all over you, I can't train you for what happens after me. What happens when you leave my home and when you leave my care? So yes, I'm going to support you, not to the extent of my own burnout. And I make this very clear to my husband and to my children. I will not support you to the extent where I am unloyal to my health, unloyal to my well-being, unloyal to my mind, unloyal to my spiritual pouring. Like, I'm not going to do that because that is a violation of my boundary. And if I violate my boundaries, I can't give to my kids, I can't give them what I don't have. And so when you see that, that is more of a trauma trigger. And I had a good relationship with my mother. So I don't feel the need to be anything other than who God called me to be to my children. And that does not entail me being a gentle parent, because spare the rod, spoil the child. That does not entail me giving my kids everything they ask for, when they ask for it, how they ask for it, no matter how much money we have. We've earned this money. You did not. And so you will learn the boundaries and how to live within these boundaries that we set, because what happens after us, this is what we're training you for. What happens
So listen, the Obienus are very future focused. If y'all have not caught that between part 1 and part 2, they are not playing with their legacy, which is a huge part of all things being well. We believe that legacy is not just money, but we're passing down our faith. We're passing down how we do things. We're passing down how we understand. We're passing down how we connect with God, not just going to church, but how we intervene with God in our everyday lives. And I love that you guys are very strong about your why. You guys have a very strong why, even though you have not detailed all of it, which you came in here saying that, listen, we're private. Don't get to asking us everything.
Intentionality. If you're going to get anything from I could Tab, you're going to get that intentionality. Y'all are very intentional on what you're trying to do and what type of marriage you want. And I feel like a lot of times today people are getting married and they don't know what type of marriage they really want. They're giving up everything for a marriage that they don't even understand. You have to be intentional. You have to be intentional, and you have to be real. What you just said, Tab, that's real. I'm not giving, I tell my kids all the time, I'm not giving up my, I mean, my mother told me one day, she said, yeah, you're supposed to give up everything, your health and this and that. I looked at my mother, you didn't do that for me. I'm not giving that.
That's what grandmothers like to say. Listen,
I'm not giving don't gotta tell me. No, I got a life I gotta live to be able to provide for you, to be able to train you from when you leave the house. You train your kids to be able to go on and produce their own. I don't train you to live with me forever.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
That is so right. Okay.
So listen, I got a question, baby. You got a question? You got a question?
Go.
Which one?
Go.
All right, I gotta get real. To my boy Ike, listen, man. Come on now. Here's how we do. If you've ever experienced this, how do you deal with those wolves on social media when your wife is building a brand and she goes live or she doing whatever? How do you? Because you got to be a confident man again. Because listen, I've dealt with some of the hardest disrespect a man can deal with regarding his wife. You know, men like to just do things just to do things.
Correct.
Men like to just try men just to try men. Hey, the wife do everything. Men have come at my neck. People I'm cool with. So how do you deal with those wolves when they try you or they try Tab? For real.
Like, first of all, right? We understand what it is we're doing, what she's doing in social media. I like to say we because I'm behind the scene. What it is we're doing in social media, right? We understand that we are going after the target, right? A group of people, right? So we'll focus on those that we are out here to enrich, those that we're out here to educate, those that we're out here to help, right? Those that are out here to receive what we have to say, right? And every other distraction, we don't even really care about that, you know. We know the wolves are out there, right? But we're focusing more on the sheep, right? The people that are out there to listen, to learn from our experience and get better, you know, with whatever it is that we're trying to help them with. So we don't. Sometimes there are times that, you know, I feel like, okay, I have to come out and defend my wife.
Come on, man. Come on, y'all.
Times like that, there's always times.
You wildin', son. Yeah.
Yeah, but at the same time, first of all, she won't let me go out there like that. She wouldn't. She wouldn't. Exactly. She understands who she is. It doesn't really affect her, you know, either way. She's so strong, you know. She knows what she wants in life. She knows those wolves. If they are wolves, she's a lioness. She will eat the wolves. The wolves are out there. She's about something more substantial, something more resolute, something more, you know, something more solid, right? So the wolves are not really that much of a distraction.
She wants an Ike. She wants an Ike. Just say it.
Yeah.
Tab wants an Ike. She doesn't want a Steve. She doesn't want a Dennis. She doesn't want a guy named Jordan. She wants an Ike. There you go.
No, she doesn't. She doesn't want all that. She doesn't want all that.
Period.
Period. I mean,
period.
Yeah.
He said wolves too. What wolves? This is the lioness right here. We are the pride, okay? We're running this whole situation. Okay.
Hey, you see like if it get down to it, you strap.
Yeah. Don't get it confused.
There you go.
We can't forget that this guy is Nigerian at the end of the day.
Nigerian. Stop playing around.
Like, listen, man, this is my guy, right? Like, he ain't gonna let me get clucked on my head. Never. He ain't gonna let nobody come at me crazy.
Not at all.
We will handle ourselves in grace and we will walk in poise and we are safe. But at the end of the day, we understand and we trust in and we believe in God and guns, right? And so that's the way that we operate. And you know, that's it.
You gotta go through me first. You have to go through me first.
That's it.
I'm a big guy. I'm a big guy.
So can we talk about how you're training your children? I know you talked about training them, but how do you train them to appreciate what you're doing in business together? Or do you ever talk to the kids about, you know, this is what I'm doing, Tab, or this is what your mom is doing. This is our goal. This is what we are trying to accomplish as a couple. How do those conversations go? And I don't know how old your children are, but are you guys at that place where you're explaining to them, this is very important to mom and dad? Because we have not talked about the fact that Tab and Ike own Abide Candle Company, which so she's very wildly successful in her candle company, in addition to Ike being successful as a chemist. So they know you as a business owner. But now that you're bringing it to the screen, do you ever feel any pushback or any questions from the kids around you being a social media personality, etc.?
You really can't build a legacy if you don't include the beneficiaries of the legacy. right?
So
So the reason why the Rockefellers were able to build what they were able to build and still in this day, right, operate under that name is because they included the beneficiaries of the legacy, right? And so we include our children when it comes to candle making. My son wicks, stickers, all the wicks, right? Like if we got custom orders, I'm not gonna be sitting there. So he sticks the wicks, right? He's learning how to work the StreamYard when we go live, right?
Oh.
My daughter, she's gone live with me in my Facebook group, right? You know, everybody, it's all hands on deck kind of situation, right? Like you need to understand that if we're gonna have pizza tonight or 3 nights in a row, that's because I had to do a 3-day live challenge, right? And I ain't gonna be able to cook tonight, right? Like when you include them into the process, it piques their understanding and then it piques their curiosity. And now they want to, you know, be in media, or now they want to be in business or help with setting up, right? When we do pop-ups in live events, right? Like my son is loading the truck and unloading the truck, and my husband is setting up, even if he doesn't stay at the event, right? So when you're building a legacy, if you're going to build a legacy, the best way to have the legacy be sustainable, because it's not just about building a legacy, because many legacies fall after they're built, right? Like the Vanderbilt legacy, that thing fell, right? Because of the hands in which they put it in. And if you don't prepare the hands for the legacy, then the legacy will fold. And so, yeah, we prepare their hands and we prepare their minds by teaching them the word of God, right? Like you need your own faith in this thing. You need your own faith. Braylon, you need your own faith. Chidara, you need your own faith, right? Like, so we teach them that God is the foundation of it all. And without him, everything will crumble, right? And so including them in the process of everything, right? Understand their concerns, hear their concerns, answer their questions to the best of their ability without bringing them out of a child's place into a dog's business. But, you know, just letting them ask questions. We come from a generation where, you know, you couldn't really do that. You couldn't really ask or inquire or be curious or use your imagination. I let them be free to use their imagination and fill in the blanks as we go along, you know.
Within reason, though. So you're still a child. Within reason.
Oh, that's why I said we don't bring them out of a child's place, honey. They stay in a child's place at all times.
Period. I wanted to say, Dave, if you didn't have another question.
Well, I think Ike was going to say
Oh,
something.
come
Go ahead,
on,
Ike.
because I want y'all to also talk about how these people can reach you. So do your thing, Ike.
Okay, just to add to what she said, I'm from a different culture, of course, and the way we raise kids back there is different from the way, you know, American raise kids, or the way kids have, the way we're raising kids now. You know, so it's something that I had to grow. I had to grow through too. I had to understand, you know, exactly what time it is, where we are, you know, and what the world is, you know, because you can prepare your kids for the 80s all you want, but they're not living in the 80s. They're living in the now, right? So that's what we try to. That's what we try to do with our kids. You know, we will try to prepare them for the future, right? And I feel that many parents are not really. They're not really focused on that. They're not really understanding the future, the next, right?
What happens next?
And sometimes they're still raising their kids for the past.
For the past.
You understand what I'm trying to say? So we are trying to incorporate business, you know, we're trying to incorporate, like what does she say? So you have to have a skill set. You have to have a skill. Gone are those days when you go to school to be an English, to do English. You know what I'm trying to? You have to have a skill set. If you want to go into real estate, you have to go get your real estate, you know, license. If you want to, depending on what you want. If you want to be a carpenter,
everybody has to have a real estate license before they even go into college, right? So before you even apply to go to college, right? Like because of how the age is set up for when you can get your license and when you go to college, there is no gap. There is no slowing down. In that summer, you have enough time to get your real estate license. So you're always set, right? And you're building something sustainable for yourself out the gate, right? So you need a trade, you need a skill, you need something.
There you go. Say it.
Yes.
You need something you can put your hands on and at it, because it's what's in your hands. And this is what God has shown us. What's in your hands, that is where the gift is.
Correct.
The gift is in your hands, you know, and so that's good.
And we can't say this without talking about science and technology. You know, they gotta be aware. They gotta be with the science. They gotta be with the coding. They gotta be with the future where we're going. AIs and everything going on. They just have to. They have to be there. And I tell them, no matter what you like doing right now, you can streamline that, you know, to fit the world of the future, right? Like, you know, like, okay, you like basketball. How about trying to, you know, work on some AI stuff around basketball, right? About, you know, there's so many aspects of that you can start, that you can create. You understand what I'm saying? So trying to live for the future, right, and prepare for the future is, you know, kind of what we're about with the kids, you know. So it might not be like traditional kids raising. Like sometimes we take our kids to places where only our kids are. People are wondering, why are your kids there? But just to show them this is what happens in the other world, you know, the real world. This is what happens. This is how things get done. This is how daddy goes to work, and this is what he does at work. This is what mommy does. You know, this is how the real work works. You know, and they are in tune with what's going on. And you know, you can't have a generation. You can't plan for generational wealth when the next generation is not ready for it. You know, so yeah, it's a teamwork. It's one team. You know, and we're going for it. You know, all of us, all hands on deck. Every baby, every grown up, everybody.
Everybody, babies, everybody. Listen, y'all maybe want to go back and be raised by the Obienus, okay? Y'all are doing it right. Y'all are doing it so well. Thank you for being on here for 2 whole episodes, and I want more, so y'all gotta come back.
Yeah, this was powerful, man. This was.
Y'all have to come
back. We have so much more to ask, but I feel like the Holy Spirit, we got the right stuff out.
Yes.
This is what people needed to hear. Y'all basically showed people, stop playing around. This is how you build love and family and legacy and media in 2023. You're not in the 80s. This is not the 90s.
No, it's not.
This is not even the early 2000s. So listen, real quick, where can they find you? Where can they follow you at, family?
You can follow me on Facebook, Tab Obienu. I'm on TikTok, Tab Obienu. I'm on Instagram, Tab Obienu. And then you can follow our podcast page, which is Married to Business. That is releasing at the top of the year. So you guys definitely got to join us on there. Tab Obienu across the board. And then he follow me, and then he just like behind the scenes.
Listen, you have to get connected, all the way connected to get to Mr. Ike Obienu. Okay, he's
connected.
He's not
Instagram is real man. Look at his face right there. Yeah, that's how he's doing it. Yes, Real Man 2023. That's how you find my man. Listen, I love y'all family. I didn't know what this was so amazing. I just know that. I said, keep calling Ike Tab.
Yes.
Keep calling Ike Tab.
I said, baby, I already asked if she has to say anything. I'm just gonna let it go. But then when you inbox, I know you guys are busy. So when you inbox and you're like, oh my God, I totally forgot to press send. I'm like, okay, it was meant to be. Today was exactly what was meant from the beginning of time. God knew it. It was all things well. So thank you for being here.
Love y'all family.
Love
really
you guys.
do. I'm gonna reach out to you, bro. I love y'all, man, for real. Thank y'all.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Make sure you are watching every Thursday for new episodes of All Things Well right here. Love Jones TV. God bless.
TVEE. Follow us on
2
YouTube.
E's.
Peace.
This is who we are. You know it. It's your time to blow it. Yeah. Stay devoted. And this is how we show it.